Welcome, Ophiuchus, to your guided healing reading. It is Sachi, and we are going to take a look at what is currently going on in your healing journey, anything that may be keeping you stuck, how to get you unstuck, and then some general advice on your healing. So this is what came out in the cleansing ceremony, Ophiuchus. We had the Knight of Pentacles, Six of Swords in reverse, Knight of Cups with Five of Swords, and Page of Pentacles. So with the Knight of Pentacles here, it seems like you may be having some difficulty revealing your true self in some way. There can be a little bit of like subconscious, just being subconscious about like who you truly are. With the Six of Swords in reverse, it seems like you are done reaching out to others for the answer, or, you know, trying to get your sense of self, or it's like you're feeling subconscious about yourself, or self-conscious. There we go. Okay, it might be subconscious, but you're feeling self-conscious, but you're not reaching out to other people for validation in any sort of way. Instead, you're in this sort of Knight of Cups energy, which I was getting a lot of like the Delulu energy. You know, we just had that full moon in Pisces, so with the Knight of Cups here, it feels like very sort of in la land. So it seems like, again, you may be working in the subconscious, maybe working in the astrals, or maybe even engaging with different mind-altering substances. And with the Five of Swords, this is like the major issue, is that you're not really trusting yourself, specifically your inner child, and what your inner child needs to do to be protected. Because the Five of Swords in this deck, it's a little different. It's a story of a man who is bringing his child, you know, they're going home and they're on the horse, and the little child says like, no, like we can't go this way. We have to go home another way because there's a scary, you know, ghost in there that's gonna take me. Like I can hear her. She wants to steal me. And the dad is just like, no, you know, he thinks it's just a kid telling up some story. So he continues to go home, and lo and behold, this evil spirit takes the child away. And so, you know, again, when a child speaks, when your inner child speaks, you have to trust them. And so with the Page of Pentacles, this is definitely talking about boundaries and what is necessary, because it's like, look, she's left out in the cold, but it's like you need to have that barrier or else the plant won't grow, right? So it's like in order for growth, boundaries, barriers have to happen, right? It doesn't make frost or snow or winter bad or evil, right? It's a necessary part of nature. But for prosperous growth, this plant needs to stay out of that environment, right? So we had Rayquaza come up. Wow, Dragon Blast. I think this is the first time Rayquaza's ever come out in this deck. So big things for you, Ophiuchus. So Rayquaza is Dragon type, and it's using Dragon Blast. And so it's also a holographic. So Rayquaza is a legendary. And anytime legendaries come out, I know you're dealing with some big stuff, especially with dragon energy here. So I really do feel like you have been influenced by the North Node, South Node energy. As I mentioned, we just had a true sky full moon in Pisces. So if you're surprised by that, I really highly recommend that you get a sky app and look at what is actually happening in our real solar system. Because, well, I guess if you're Ophiuchus, you already know, right? I always forget I don't need to explain things to you guys. Anyway, so, you know, that full moon was right next to the, right next to North Node, which is making a lot of people on their soul missions. So I feel like this definitely, probably stirred up some stuff in regards to your soul mission. We also, you know, dragon energy is there to clear very, very dense energy. That's why they often are shown up after like WARS, because they help clear the grid so that other things can, you know, happen there. Which Dragon Blast, even though it's a dragon card, the attack is fire and electric. So that's telling me it's specifically influencing your firepower and your electric power. So that would also be stimulating your root chakra and your solar plexus. And it's interesting because when I was first tapping into your energy, I heard like, wow, almost no ego. And so I feel like you've been able to dissolve the ego, right? Dissolve the sense of self. And the thing is, you want a healthy ego, right? That's like sort of how you distinguish the self from the other in a way, and how you sort of narrate your life. The ego is not bad or good, right? But again, maybe there are some boundaries that are necessary, some barriers that are necessary for ego stories. But I did feel kind of like an underactive solar plexus, but that may have been some inner child stuff that was happening. Anyway, let's just see. All right, Ophiuchus, let's just tap in, see what was going on for you right now. Okay, 3 of Swords, 4 of Cups. So it doesn't look like you're in the happiest of days at the moment, Ophiuchus. Again, you know, we saw with Rayquaza, obviously there's some very dense energy. With the 3 of Swords, it does seem like you experience some sort of heartbreak here. And in this deck specifically, it shows like 1 sword through the heart, 1 through the head, and 1 through the crown. So the pain that you have felt in your heart chakra of heartbreak is also influencing like your throat chakra and third eye as well as your crown. So again, there's some issues with the heartbreak and the way it's influencing your upper chakras. And this heartbreak, it feels like you are also sort of drowning in your emotions with the 4 of Cups here. So I'm very sorry to hear that, sweetheart. Let's just see what's in the light here. All right, so we have water coming out stuck and it's going in the shadow. So these are some stuck emotions, like I said, right? Very, very stuck emotions that are stagnant. I mean, this is very Piscean. It could be past life stuff because, again, we had like North Node activations, which obviously means South Node is being activated. That is the dragon head and the dragon tail, respectively. Right, Rahu and Ketu in astrology. So those are lunar nodes, and there can be some lunar distortions there. That's another story. But so yeah, there's stuck emotions here with Milcery using Ram. So it feels like your third eye is very much on RAM mode. And when I say RAM, it's interesting. I'm getting like random active memory, like a computer sort of thing, or whatever, retrieved active memory. But also I always take Ram as like Aries energy. So Aries energy can be like instinctual behavior. It can be anger, aggression. So there could be a lot of anger that may be like hurting your heart chakra as well as making you feel like you're drowning in your emotions. But it's really the anger that seems to be the issue. But it's the anger in the third eye. So it's like angry thoughts that are causing issues, and this may be causing the emotions to be stuck because anger is usually a mask over something else. Anger is usually the result of deeper hidden sadness, resentment, and things like that, fear. But it does feel like I want to say it's like there's this energy of awareness. Like, it feels like you're very aware of what's going on. You're not being consumed by it. It feels like you're very much like, okay, I'm working through heartbreak and my emotions. And yeah, there are some stuck emotions. It's a very kind of like go-getter energy. And again, with Aries energy will tackle the problem. So I feel like you're not running and hiding from what this is. You're actively moving through it. Again, heartbreak and sadness are just a part of life. And it seems like you're really kind of grabbing the ram by the horns here. It says, they say that any patisserie visited by Milcery is guaranteed success and good fortune. And it's the cream Pokemon. So I think you know that you're going to be successful and have good fortune, even though you are experiencing this, you know, negative experience, I would say, or a very emotional experience. Not negative, right? Even feelings that don't feel good can still be positive experiences, because when we're feeling our feelings, it helps us move through something, right? When you're not feeling your feelings, that's usually when it becomes more of a negative experience. Let's see what's in the shadow here. Going right to that 3 of Swords, so going right to the heartbreak, we have Metang using Metal Claw. So it feels like maybe your heart chakra really has created some sort of wall, because Steel type represents like energetic boundaries, but it feels like, again, like there's just sort of like heart walls and kind of like closed offness and kind of like cocoon energy around you of like, I don't want to be around anyone right now. I just sort of want to be by myself in my emotions. It says, it is formed by two beldam joining together. Its two brains are linked, amplifying its psychic power. So it seems like you are connected to someone that, obviously your psychic power is amplified. So maybe you're working with someone who is helping you through this, that like, you know that you're still going to have success and good fortune. And meeting is created when these two beldams come together. So there's sort of this energy of like greater than the sum of their parts stuff in the shadow. So again, it looks like you have a solid connection. Maybe this person's also helping you through that heartbreak. And you know that you're going to be successful even though you're moving through some difficult things. So let's just see what sort of, I guess, what's keeping you stuck in the Three of Swords and Four of Cups. I was hearing like it's literally just staying in the Three of Swords and Four of Cups. We have the Five of Swords. Yeah, so again, this came out in the cleansing ceremony. You know, I almost didn't tell the story in the beginning because it is kind of dark. Not that you can't handle it or anything, but once again, we have like not trusting the inner child or not trusting the child, or maybe even not like protecting a child or something like that. Let's see, going to the Four of Cups, we have Four of Pentacles in reverse. There is some, like, I almost said there is an access of time. So that's interesting. But it kind of feels like that there was some sort of lost time, or like there's no more time to do something, something, something. It's really hard to put my finger on. Oh, I'm hearing like it's too late. So you may think that something is too late. Let's see what's the light energy. We have Mars Shadow using Let Loose and Mimic You using Mischievous Hands. So yeah, and this wants to go to the shadow, and Mars Shadow is literally a shadow. So what's keeping you stuck is obviously a lot of shadow stuff. Even Mimic You, look at how like he's hiding in the shadows. So, and again, it's like part of the light. So you're aware of these shadows. So it looks like you, and it's in the third eye. So it's really the mental space that's keeping you stuck. So it's Let Loose, and it's the Gloom Dweller Pokemon. So it seems like, yeah, literally dwelling in the gloom. Like I said, when I was like, what's the issue with keeping you stuck? It's literally just like staying stuck in there. So yeah, your shadow has been let loose and dwelling in the gloom. It says, able to conceal itself in shadows, it never appears before humans. So its very existence was the stuff of myth. So it's talking about being able to conceal itself in shadows. So again, there is something that's hidden in the shadows, something that's like mythological. So again, it's like, it's that child, inner child that's telling you something and you're like, no, that's not true. I'm just going to ignore it, basically. And then we have Mimic You using Mischievous Hands. So again, I feel like that's that evil spirit that's trying to steal the child, is like, there are some mischievous hands that are involved, and it's not just you. And Mimic You is a ghost type. You never like see its true form, but it wears this little like Pikachu outfit because everybody loves Pikachu. So it's like, you know, pretending to be that Pikachu so that it can be loved by others. And this definitely feels like, you know, wanting to be liked, wanting to please others. So it definitely feels like a people-pleasing type energy. It says, although it's a quiet, lonely Pokemon, if you try to look at what's under its rag, it will become agitated and resist violently. And it's the disguise Pokemon. So again, there is some aspect of deception, of like, again, hiding who you truly are. And if anyone is going to lift, you know, of what's under there, of like getting super angry, you know. So again, it definitely gives me like people pleasing, not revealing your true self. Your shadow is just sort of running the show here. All right, let's see what's the shadow here. As if we didn't get enough already. So yeah, the shadow is, again, the solar plexus feels like it needs to be positive all the time with positive hand. We have mischievous hand and positive hand. So, you know, positive is also the masculine energy. Positive polarity is associated with masculine energy or yang energy. It says it cheers on friends with pom-poms made of sparks. It drains power from telephone poles. So this definitely gives me like fake friendship sort of thing. And again, maybe your inner child is like telling you like you shouldn't be around this person. And then you're like, no, it's okay, sort of thing. It's like you're gaslighting yourself, because it talks about cheering on friends and then draining the power from telephone poles. So that kind of gives me maybe even some sort of like it could be like an online relationship. Sorry, there was a lot coming through. Going right to the Three of Swords, we have Glossifer using leafage. It whirls around in the wind while singing a joyous song. This delightful display has charmed many into raising this Pokemon, and it's a flowering Pokemon. So again, the shadow part is like, oh, positive energy, positive energy. Ooh, look, I'm dancing, and, you know, oh, you know, delightful. Everything looks fine, and, you know, so charming. Everyone else should live like this, or, you know what I mean? Again, there really is this aspect of deception here, of feeling like you can only be cheery and positive and stuff, but the truth is that the shadow's running the show, and you're not trusting your inner child. And again, the inner child feels unsafe to even be seen. So, all right, let's see what nature has to say about this. In the extended, like I said, we will see what we can do to help you overcome what's keeping you stuck here, and then some general advice on your healing journey. We have the autumnal equinox release. Yeah, there are definitely some things that need to be released here, especially the notion that like you always have to be sunny and positive and cheery and do the little dance and yada yada yada, right? Of like trying to be the perfect person or whatever it may be, or even maybe you have a child and you're rejecting your child's shadow of like, no, you can't cry. No, you can't feel this way. No, you can't right? Because maybe you haven't gone through some of your own emotional pain, and therefore your child's not allowed to go through their own emotional pain. In which, so that is incorrect. They also do not need to be happy and listen and perfect all the time. That's not what being human is about. So there definitely is a lot to release here. We just had the autumnal equinox in the northern hemisphere. Obviously the southern hemisphere is going through their vernal equinox, right? Because that's how it works. And so, yeah, this is a time for release and also a time of transition. So, and even look at the colors, right? It's like the colors are the lower chakras here, which is the heart, the solar plexus, sacral, and root here. So it definitely feels like there's a lot that needs to be released on the lower chakras, because that's what's causing the pain in the upper chakras, is all the stuff that needs to be released here. And again, it's like the ego feels like it needs to be positive, positive, positive all the time, and like cheering on and this and this. And the heart is just like, you know, oh, happy, dancing, everyone can feel like this sort of thing. So it's kind of like putting an unachievable or unrealistic standard. That's what it feels like. So, all right. So in the extended, like I said, we are going to take a look at what we can do to get you over this, and then get some general advice on your healing journey. And if you would like to follow me there, the link is in the description box below. It is available for Eagle and Phoenix members only. So if you have not signed up for that, you can do so on my website. You can go to the menu and then subscription and plans and choose what best suits you there. So again, the link is in the description box below, and I hope to see you there.